What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dual Coast Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Skoka, joined by my co-host always on the West Coast, Russ Rogers.
Here we go.
Local guy to me right now. We got
John, look at that.
Let's
flex when we're at it.
So local, he's in my kitchen.
Literally in the kitchen.
Thank you so much for being on, man. Johnny, thank you so much.
Johnny, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. He's even repping the attire, bro.
Repping everywhere, the attire. All day, every day.
Johnny, tell us a little bit about where Johnny Gymss came from. What is Johnny Gymss? Where did he come from? How did you develop him?
Right. Yeah, so, I wanted to start doing some social media for my company that I run. I run a training company. And I said, you know what, let me think of a cool name. Let me think of something interesting. And I said, let's just put it together. My name's Johnny. I love the gym. It worked really well. And one S was taken, so I got two. So Johnny Gymss.
I love that name, man.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's great.
We could have went maybe Johnny Money.
Johnny Money Gymss.
This is awesome, man. We're going to do something like this in 2 weeks because I'm actually going to a new athletic club here in town. Yeah. And I'm going to be sitting with them just like we're sitting with you right now. I'll be sitting in their gym and maybe do a little walk around, a little, tour or whatever. So looking forward to having them.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, and it's cool
it's going to be great.
I'm always the one that's interviewing, so to be the interviewee, I guess, would be. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
this is great, man. This is great, and you wore the proper attire.
You did.
It goes with Johnny Gymss.
He did.
So I've scrolled through your site and saw your Instagram. And shredded dude. Take good care of yourself, and so it's great to have you on here and inspire, motivate, and educate people, man, as far as what we can do in our lives that are going to help people in their walk, whatever they want, And so give us a little history, man. Give us a little history of Johnny Gymss. Where did you start? Where did you come from?
So, fortunately, I have the luxury of fitness is also my career, so I could really focus on it. So it is good to help other people and kind of help teach, advise, and guide people because it is my passion. So actually, another part of why Johnny Gymss started is that it's just like any career, I guess. The people that are hardest to help is your own family. So my dad and my mom, I'm always trying to get them on board to be healthy and take care of themselves and work out and, things like that. And it was a struggle for years. And my parents, they got sick. And my dad just kind of his health declined. It got worse and worse. And then he, I guess about 7 or 8 months ago, he passed away, which was devastating for me. So, I didn't want to sit there and make it, it kind of broke me. So I didn't want to keep it as a negative thing. So I decided to turn it into something positive. I said, this is going to inspire me. I want to start helping other people. I want to make a difference in other people's lives. I want to be there for them in a way that, a lot of people can't be. And I have the experience, the credentials, and I hope that they'll listen to me because I changed my own life. I was depressed and sick and, I had a lot of health issues. I turned my own life around and I know it's I just feel so much better. And I'm like a new human, a new person.
Yeah.
And it really encouraged me. So I want to do the same for other people. So I figured if I couldn't help him, at least I can help others. And that's actually when I decided to start really focusing on Johnny Gymss. So that's where he came from. And it's been an amazing ride. I'm loving it because, people come up to me and they say, I love what you're doing. You make a difference. I really love the workouts and the guidance or just hearing people's stories. So the more I hear that, the more I'm motivated to do even more and grow. So
that's awesome.
You guys.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question, Johnny. You talked about, being in that depressed state that you were in. How old were you? And what was it that really clicked for you that turned you the other way? Because we had a podcast this morning and very similar discussion. I would love to hear your age and really what turned the tide for you, because some people don't turn that page.
Right. I don't remember. It was I guess early 20s.
Okay.
And I would say that I was really sick and tired of being sick. I saw pictures of myself and I remember them at the beach. And I use those pictures in my transformation pictures. If you've ever seen them, or if you want to check them out, that's the time when I saw that, and I said, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore." You know, I
Enough's
was
enough.
embarrassed. I was too young to have all these serious health issues. And
Yeah.
up until that point, I'd use it as an excuse. So, you know, all my family's like this, and it's my genes, and you know, it's just not in the cards for me. So, kind of is what it is, and it just kind of felt normal. But then I said, listen, if I continue along this path, it's going to be a rough road for the rest of my life, you know? And I
Yeah.
was focused on work and my career, and I neglected my body. And that's the same thing I talk about with a lot of people that I work with as a trainer. It's like, listen, you know, you have millions of dollars in the bank by the time you're retiring. Well, what is your retirement body? What if you
Yeah.
can't use your body and enjoy your retirement, to go on vacation, hiking and biking, whatever you want to do, pick up your grandkids, you know? So you got to invest in your health like you would in your retirement. And that's kind of
Yeah.
where it came from.
I love that.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. No, you know, it's overlooked a lot. And I think Johnny would totally agree with this, is that people don't really focus on their health. They focus on the finances, they focus on the home, they focus on all that stuff, but health gets overlooked. It's one of the first things to get overlooked, in my opinion,
It's
honestly.
true.
People go home, eat whatever they want, you know, they're stressed out, they have anxiety, and they turn to food. They don't turn to the gym, they don't turn to the fitness, they don't turn to the health, they don't turn to the physicians, they don't turn to any of that stuff. And it's absolutely true. And I think it's highly overlooked. I see it all the time in the hospital, you know, people coming in with high BMIs, obesity, multiple medical problems, comorbidities. I mean, it's interesting. And it's kind of sad at the same time, honestly. People, you know, overlook that diet. They overlook that overall well-being. And I mean, it's something that really needs to change. And Johnny's contributing to that.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
So you're in Dan's kitchen right now, and he just gave you some water. Can you give us kind of what the level of good quality water that he has supplied for you?
No, it's actually top of the line. Pellegrino.
Oh, okay.
Russ,
there you go.
Russ is a big water proponent. When it comes to New York, he always questions where the water and how the water is.
It's important. I'm a water stuff. So
all right, it's good. I'm glad you're getting top-notch service at Dan's house.
Yeah, of course. Johnny, I want to bring something up a little bit here. So a lot of posts that you have to do with High Rocks and a lot of community wellness and community fitness and things like that. And you train at specific gyms around here that are based on community. Now, Russ is simultaneously a big proponent of community. So he has something called Community Strides, where the second weekend of every month, people go out there and they walk 2 miles. And Russ, you have how many states involved and how many countries involved now?
26 states, 7 countries.
26 states and 7 countries based on community. What would you say is the strength of having community around you in the fitness realm? What does it mean to you to have those people around you, supporting you, seeing you succeed in the gym, and giving you just honestly an overall boost in life?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is essential. Okay. I don't know how, you know, you can be successful on your own. It's a lot easier to have that community behind you, have the support, have people to hold you accountable, to guide you, to encourage you. Realistically, with working out, it's just also more fun. You know, I've done group workouts for years. I've gone from MMA, which is like a really tight community, and CrossFit, now High Rocks. And, you know, I feel like we need that. And a lot of people who aren't successful, you know, think about it. They're going to the gym on their own. They're driving on their own. They don't really know exactly what to do. They don't have anyone to talk to. It gets it's not the same, you know, listening to music, putting on your headphones and zoning out, as opposed to having that buddy with you. So you times that by 10, you have this big community, and I think it's just super essential.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
You know, you got to the point in looking at yourself. You saw some photographs, right? You're looking down. Maybe you see a little stomach. You're a little heavy. People that come to you who are having a difficult time in their lives of taking that first step. They've looked at themselves, but they feel like maybe they're helpless, right? There's nothing really they can do. But they come to you, Johnny, and they say, Johnny, what can you do this? What is the starting point? What would you encourage them who are struggling to take that first step to do?
Step number 1, follow Johnny Gymss on my pages.
Boom.
Yeah. Step number 2, contact me about training. I do online training also. I can hit you anywhere. If you can't do that or you won't do that, that's cool. I would say this. It is good to get a coach or a personal trainer. You know, I have a coach who advises me and teaches me in classes. Have a person who knows, who has the experience, who could help you. As far as what I would say is, think about your why, and whatever it is, it may feel like it's stupid or it may feel like ridiculous. Focus on the why you'd want to do it. It's not that people don't try to work out. It's that they're not successful, so they get discouraged. So keep in mind that I talk to people, they call me in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they say, John, I've yo-yoed my whole life. I tried sticking to a program and I was on for 3 months and off for 6 and on for 2 and off for 10 and whatever. So it's like people just go back and forth. What you need to do is just find a way to be consistent. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. So what happens is people don't see results quickly and then they decide it's not worth it. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, the biggest thing is this. You want to make sure that you're working out correctly, because you can go to the gym and you could sweat and you could put in that time and effort and energy. If you're not getting the return, who would want to stay with that? So make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and learn. And if it's not from you, find out from someone else. This way that you see that results, and that's going to keep you motivated and inspired to continue. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. What about the person that doesn't want to go to a gym? They want to, work out at home, and what is the, what's the positive and the negative, of that?
Yeah, I think working out at home has its benefits too. You don't have to drive, right? It's private, it's quiet.
Yeah.
You can always get the equipment. Actually, that's what my company specializes in, is Gym Guys is in-home training. So as far as that, if you are going to work out at home, you're going to need that extra oomph, that extra energy.
Yes.
Get yourself some good equipment. A lot of people are not comfortable going into the gym because they don't know what to do, or maybe they're self-conscious. I would say the best thing you could possibly get would be a treadmill to start, because you can always get a workout in the treadmill, and that can go from walking flat to running to sprinting to intervals to uphill intervals. So there's lots of variation there, and I would say start with that because it's variety.
That's good. What can you do with the guy sitting to your left?
He's perfect. You're good. Could you help me?
Follow that.
Is there any help? Can you give him any help? Because he's kind of, sometimes he can be a little hard-headed,
Yeah,
it's like, come on, let's get going, Dan. Come on.
Yeah, sometimes I look in the mirror, I just take the chisel sometimes and just carve it out. Carve it out.
1-800-JENNA. Let's ask Jenna.
We're gonna get some action going, definitely between us. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
We'll get some workouts going, Russ. We'll throw you in the mix somewhere. That's it.
Oh, that's too good.
What do you do for your workouts, guys? Why don't you let me know? I want to hear.
Russ? Actually,
okay.
Workouts, yeah.
So I have a Peloton, because I do walks morning and night. And so I average anywhere from 2.5 to 4 miles a day on my walks. I love going in the morning, it's dark and the sun's coming up and getting that sunrise. Cool. I usually go at night, between 7 and 8:30, sometimes till 9 p.m., before I knock out for the night. But in between, my time is 3 to 5 p.m. That is where I lock it down and really kind of keep that time sacred for myself. Right. 2 doors over is garage. That's where my friends and neighbors, they have a garage, and I put the Peloton in there, and I actually do a lot of band work. So I only own 2 dumbbells, 30-pound dumbbells. So I do different exercise with them. I do a lot of band work. I have a medicine, big medicine ball, a jump rope. So I do a lot of band work with my legs. I do a core. So anything that integrates that. And the thing about it is the cost is so minimal for that. You know what I mean? I'm 58. I don't need to be, huge and shredded, but I want to feel good about myself. The reason I got the Peloton, and it was used from a friend, the reason I got that is because walking is really good for me. And it's good for people in general, but I needed more heart rate stuff. Right. And in jump rope, I get that, but I need that longevity. Right. Yeah. So the Peloton is really, really good for me. You go in anywhere from 30 to 45-minute workout.
That's really cool. Do you do the live classes?
I've done a couple of them, not, kind of not my deal. I just jump on and do a recorded class and away I go.
I always wanted to do those things where you could travel anywhere in the U.S. and you ride the mountains or something. I thought it was pretty cool.
I've done that. The reason I don't do the live classes is I don't want people to feel intimidated. because of the work that I do.
Makes sense. Fair enough.
Calm down, guys. Calm down.
And what about you? What do you got?
Yeah, what about you, Dan? Come
Mike
on.
doesn't go as hard as Russ goes, so he's gonna break it. So I used to follow classic bodybuilding workout for the most part, doing like chest tries, back buys type of deal. But now with the hospital schedule, working the hours that I work and stuff like that, what I try to focus on is push pull now. So I'll do push pull work. Cardio work, typically what I'll do is a lot of sled work in the gym now. I used to do more like step mill, Stairmaster, treadmill, which I still integrate a little bit here and there. But now I'm more like burpees, sled pull, jump rope type of guy. I've become a fiend for jumping rope over the past 2 years or so. That has been my like new thing, my newer thing, I guess you'd say. But I actually like that a little bit better. I keep a little bit more focused than being on the treadmill. I don't disassociate very well being on the treadmill and running and stuff like that. And Russ can agree with me here. He doesn't like to run long distances either. So I'm more about short sprint work, jumping rope, battle rope, things like that. I kind of try to integrate that stuff too. It allows me to disassociate a little bit more. Muscle connection, in my opinion. I don't know. It's a little bit easier for me.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that intensity. You know,
I like the intensity.
the functional fitness. Just, I would say, if you're doing something you actually enjoy, you're going to stick to it. You know,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
simple.
for sure. Totally.
Yeah,
agree.
even with the jump rope, I do like 2-minute bursts because my calves get super tight if I, going for a long period of time. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, stop, stretch, but then so I just kind of work in 2-minute intervals in my jump rope while I'm working out.
Yeah. I'd love to know, like, get in the mind of the people that are running these marathons and backyard, whatever they're called, and like miles and miles, and know what they're thinking to get through like 4, 6, 10 hours. You know what I mean?
100%.
I couldn't imagine it. To be honest with you, that'd be difficult for me. The most I run, I'd run 10 miles, somewhere around then, but I don't know. That's difficult.
It is a mindset. We have a good friend, Craig Siegel. We actually interviewed help me out, Dan. The gals from Southern California.
The wellness wits.
Wellness wits. Yeah, wellness wits. And so so they do marathons all over. We met a gal in Pittsburgh who's run a marathon in every state, in all 50 states. She's run a marathon. She just did Alaska was her last one. And she did that earlier this year. But that mindset is just, and talking with Craig Siegel, it's like every time that you run is different. Sometimes your body is like ready to stop at 5 miles into it.
Sure.
Other times the whole 26 is a breeze, right? So you just don't know how your body is going to respond, but it's mindset, and I think one of his last marathons wasn't New York, but one before that, he was just like, I was done like 8 miles in, and I really had to like power through the rest of the 21 miles.
Right.
It's a long way.
It's
not my deal.
Yeah, mostly mental.
Yeah.
I think that everyone feels the same way. It's just a matter of pushing through it. A lot of people ask me what to do when they go away on vacation. I always recommend running. And for me, I love it. Because every new place I go to, it's just I'm running a completely new, background environment, and it's like a different vibe. So I think that's the way to go. Just go for a run.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I was recently in Miami Beach, and they have these big wide paths that are right there along the coast. So I went about a mile and a half one direction, took off the shoes, socks, walked down to the water, and their sand is really, really thick.
Right.
So walking a mile and a half back in that, I felt that for a couple of days.
I like that.
From my waist down. I mean, my hammies, my calves, my thighs. It was like, I was shredded for 2 days.
Being creative like that. That's cool. Absolutely.
Calves were like this.
Yes. Yes. My calves look like my thighs. But getting that good workout.
But it's true though, what Johnny just said is that getting through that marathon is a lot of mental strength, discipline, mindset. So Johnny, segueing there into it, what would you say are some things that the gym creates for you as far as mentality, mental strength? What mental strength goes into training, or what mental strength do you try to instill in your clients that you see?
Right, that's a really good question. I love that question. So think about when you work out and getting in really good shape, which I love, is that you can't buy it, you can't borrow it, you can't steal it. It has to be earned. You have to do it daily, or at least consistently. it's also, it shows our body speaks for us in any way, for everybody, regardless of what that is. And what I would say is that I love the discipline aspect. I work out a lot of it for the mental aspects. One of the reasons I decided to fight, I had some fights, was because I said, this terrifies me. And I got to tell you, I was so scared going into the ring in the cage, and pretty much everybody is. And if they tell you they're not, they're just, whatever. It's like almost like you're panicking before. And that was exactly why I wanted to and needed to do it, because that mindset of like, I can do this and I'm going to put myself there and risk it. As far as like just working out in general, knowing that you do the hard thing, the thing that's challenging, and get up when you don't want to, and you go to the gym when you don't want to, and you want to eat that thing or you want to have that drink, but you don't. And just knowing that you show up for yourself is self-respect. It's important. And I believe that when you have the discipline to stay consistent with your workouts and your nutrition, you can apply that same discipline and focus to literally everything in life.
Yes.
So for me, that's like one of the most important parts. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, it seems to me like, with the marathon runner, right? They're having to battle their body in that marathon, but it's the same thing if you think about daily life, right? Because there's going to be days that, that you're in that marathon and you don't want to go from mile 13 to 14. And it's the same thing. I don't want to get up on Wednesday because I'm hurting from Tuesday. Right. And so it's getting into that mindset that says, I can do this. And when you build in that consistency, what is the reward? What's the reward, Johnny?
Yeah. Well, I think that you can apply it to your work, to your family life, to your everything that you're doing. You have to put in those extra hours at work. You got to make those extra phone calls. You have to do things you have to get up early to go in early. You have to be there for your family when you're tired or whatever it is. You have to take that drive. So just like having the mindset where I know that I'm investing into something that's going to benefit me later. The delayed gratification, I think, is to put what you get from that and everything. And that even with the way I do approach social media, people like, which I love, I really appreciate this on Long Island locally here. People like, I see you everywhere. I always see your posts and they're popping up everywhere. And I'm like, well, just same thing with working out. I'm just consistent, and I'm always going to think about what I'm doing for the day, and I'm going to post it. I'm going to make sure that I have the same discipline. And I feel like if you put the hard work, you're going to reap the rewards.
For sure.
So good.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah. Johnny, with the social media channel that you're building, so you interview these people, you have this channel on YouTube, you're training, you're interviewing people in the gym. What do you hope the interviewees get out of it? What do you want them to get out of it? What legacy do you try to leave on these people, or do you want to instill in people?
Right. Well, I think that you don't really know someone's story. You don't really know, you may not understand them. And a lot of people love telling their story because they haven't had that opportunity. And you find out some really interesting things, and you meet some interesting people. And, I think that it's great to have help build people up to put themselves out there because they connect with other people in the community. Maybe they share interests, or they share a mindset, or they share friends, and they never would have known if they wouldn't have had that time to interview. So I think that's been great for me, is learning all these different people and connecting everyone. And now I feel like I have this huge family, that where I've been close to so many different people. So I think it's something special. Like I get to do right now is talk about like things that I often don't speak about. Right. Yeah. So as far as like the legacy I want to leave, I haven't thought that far yet. What I would say is that right now I want to build a community where it's people that I want to encourage and help and support each other. And we want to self-development and growth is our main focus. So if I can do that, then I'm happy.
For sure.
That's amazing.
For sure.
Walk us through the nutritionist value as far as like what you used to eat compared to what you put in your body now.
Okay. This is good. All right. So.
And besides that high quality water that you're drinking.
Right. Nutrition, I would say, well, I ate everything and I ate a bunch of junk, and I ate purely for the taste and the pleasure of it, which is good. You got to enjoy your food, but you want to be mindful. Listen, you got one body, you got to be mindful what you're putting in it. So as far as I did my share of partying, I did my share of drinking, and I did a lot of junk food for a long time. And you feel terrible. You just feel it. You know,
Yeah.
when you eat well or when you eat poorly or eat well, it's night and day. So what I would say is that what I used to eat is, you know, it's called standard American diet, the SAD diet, right? It's sad. It's just terrible food. It's processed. It's mostly carbohydrates. There's not a lot of nutrients or fiber in there. It's just like terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And also
I like that.
the food pyramid is a scam. Don't get me, you know, I don't want to get too far into that, but it's not even real. So what I would tell you is that right now I focus on foods with a lot of fiber, lots of fruits and vegetables. It's something we've heard since we're kids, right? 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is the key to health. It's that simple. You don't have to focus so much on calorie counting if you're eating 8 to 10 servings of vegetables, because you're getting your fermentable fiber, you're getting tons of vitamins and minerals, you're getting phytonutrients, you're getting all sorts of. It's like the food, that type of food, plant food, is medicine. It's better than any medicine, really. So I would say that I shoot for 8 to 10 servings of vegetables a day. I probably have around 6 to 8 on average. I have a ton of protein. I have between 200 to 300 grams depending on the day. Me personally, I fast most days.
Mm-hmm.
I fast like either I do a 12 hours or 16 or 20 hours, and I eat in that window. People often have issues with their blood sugar and their insulin, which makes it very hard to get to your own body fat to burn because they're eating too often throughout the day. They're eating too many carbs and not the right type of carbs.
Yep.
Fruits and vegetables are the best type of carbohydrates, and also beans, lentils, things like that, right?
Yep.
So what I would say is the way I eat now is I'm very mindful of processed foods, processed meats. You want to have meats that are as close to the natural as possible, meaning you want a steak versus like a hot dog, right? You want like chicken that's not processed as opposed to maybe bacon, right? So focus on that. Things like magnesium are extremely important. People don't get enough magnesium, and generally people are dehydrated. So if you focus on those things, 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, your body weight in protein, getting enough magnesium and electrolytes, you're probably pretty good. Also, when it comes to your eating, the order matters. People don't realize this, and I didn't know until recently. You want to have your sugar and carbohydrates at the end. If you have sugar alone without protein, it's going to spike your insulin, spike your blood sugar. So always pair your carbohydrates with your protein, and also eat it at the end of the meal. You want to have a sweet treat. We all love it. I do too. Have your vegetables, your protein, and then have that, right? Never alone.
Yeah.
I walk around like 8% body fat all year round. I don't have an off season or an on season. I just think that if you are consistent with your eating, you don't have to go crazy and be so strict with it. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, you got me.
What's that?
I told you if you get me started on eating, I'm not going to stop. So
I just want to know the nutritional value of 2 Coney dogs.
Coney dog. What's Coney dog? Oh, gotcha.
That's it.
They fit your daily requirement for everybody.
That's the sad diet.
Macros for the year.
Yeah.
Standard American diet.
What I think is true. What I think though is what Johnny just said. You could actually keep it more simplistic than a lot of people try to think into. People are counting the macros, counting the micros, and things like that, counting the carbs. If you just limit certain things, limit caloric intake, fasting, I think honestly is hugely beneficial. And I think it's overlooked a lot, honestly. I don't think a lot of people fast. They kind of disregard.
But I think a lot of people struggle with that too.
People struggle with it 100%. And if people try to focus on eating like 6 small meals and things like that. But I think what Johnny said is absolutely true. You don't have to always count the macros and count the micros and count this and count that. If you just cut out certain foods and certain things like that, you'll keep your weight down. Exercise, to a moderate degree, we'll say. It doesn't have to be to a high degree, to a mild, to a moderate degree. And I think people will stay much more fit than they actually realize. And I think it's kind of ignored a lot, honestly, because I think people think it's too hard. People say, oh, this is too hard. I got to count too many things. I got to count all these calories. I got to count these macros, these micros. And then people say, I'm not doing all that. I'll figure it out. I'll wing it. But sometimes it's not always necessary. Like I honestly, even when I've been cutting and I've eaten healthy and stuff like that, I've never counted really carbohydrates, never counted macros, never counted any of that stuff. There's a joking shirt that people wear that says Arnold never counted his macros. And that's probably true. So, I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think it's a little bit more simplistic than
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I would never want to live that life. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's it's no way to live. But yeah, no, you said it. It's just, you don't have to go. It doesn't have to be complicated. Do your workouts consistently, stay away from the junk, and just eat your fruits and vegetables, have your protein.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, like, I was in Minnesota last week, and we went out after dinner one night and had ice cream. Don't beat yourself up because you went and had ice cream one night.
Eat bad food with attitude.
Let's say that again.
Eat bad food with a good attitude.
Yes.
You're gonna have it, enjoy it. It's not bad necessarily, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You can do that once in a while. You can't just do it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I got a tub and I'm eating it every night and I'm gorging myself, then we got a problem, right?
Agree.
What do you think about the sacrifice that it takes to live this healthy lifestyle? What do you think people have to sacrifice?
Well, again, I think back to the delayed gratification, right? The short term. If you're living for now, you're going to pay for it later. If you're living for later, you're going to pay, somewhat now. But you'll always be glad you made the sacrifice later. Yeah. Same thing. I think of it as investments and savings and putting money away. If you just splurge and spend and use and abuse and neglect your finances, when you get to later in your life, you're not gonna be in a good position, right? Same thing with our health and our fitness, right? You can just use and abuse and neglect our bodies for so long, and at some point you're gonna have to pay for it. So I would say it's the same kind of mindset.
Yeah. Speaking of thank you for sharing that. Going back to the hot dog thing, Coney. I had a friend that was more my brother's age, about 7 years older than mine. And in junior college, he wrestled at, I think he's about 6'2", 6'3", and he weighed 400 pounds.
Whoa.
And yeah. And so he was at Modesto Junior College, and he beat everybody. And what he would do is he'd get up underneath their arms, like right here. He would get up underneath them, come in with the leg behind, and then basically collapse them down and just pancake them at 400 pounds. You know what I mean? And that's how he'd pin them. Well, he got to the level where he was going to go to Concord, California, and wrestle the Great Russians, who happened to be a lean 280, 6'8". Okay, fighting fast. So his coach said, "Hey, Doug, we're gonna put you on a diet. We're gonna cut you back over this next month. We're gonna lean you out so you can be faster against this guy." And really, for 400 pounds, I went and watched him wrestle my dad night. He was pretty fast, but his coach wanted to get him faster. So he said, "Doug, we're gonna put you on this diet, and we're gonna get you quicker, right?" So a month later, they put him on the scale. He actually didn't lose any pounds. He actually gained some weight. And he's like, "Doug, what in the world is going on?" And he goes, "Well, the only thing I can think about is my dad got this great deal on these Frankfurters, and I would eat a couple of packs a night."
Couple of packs?
24 hot dogs a night.
Oh, that's Andre the Giant style.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? So anyway, guess what? That Russian pinned him in the first round.
Really?
That makes sense.
Yes. Pinned him in the first round. It was just too fast, too lean, too tall, just too fast, and pinned Doug in the first round. It was unbelievable. And I was there. I was there to watch it, my dad and I.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember I was like my biggest, which was 260. I had a bin of candy next to my bed, and I would just reach in at night and just eat candy all night. And I had a tub of Haagen-Dazs every single night.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, that was, and then I could get into it. We probably had about
that's crazy
calories a day.
Wow.
I mean, looking at you now, that's just mind-boggling. That that's the life that you used to live, right? And people are living that right now,
for sure,
right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's really the focus of what we do. And I know the focus of your podcast when you're interviewing people is we want to inspire, motivate, educate. We want to give them what they can do in their lives to improve their lives, make healthier choices, live a better life, live healthier, not only for yourselves, but your family, your kids, your grandkids. The last thing, I'm 58. I don't want to go out there and be bent over breathing because I'm chasing, my grandkids around. You know what I mean?
And what, I guess I got to ask you, what made you start that for yourself with the walking and the things that you do for your community?
So, yeah, great question. I've been in sports all my life.
Nice.
I was a personal trainer for 20 years. I was a collegiate softball coach. So my kids grew up in sports. We told all of our kids, you got to play a sport all through high school, at least one sport. You can switch it up, whatever you want to do, but you got to stay active, right? So that was a part of my life. When COVID hit in 2020, I went a different direction, in the direction that I'm going now. So it pretty much, COVID squashed my business. So I moved on from there and then began writing, and then transition to what I'm doing now, which is trying to inspire, educate, motivate people to live healthier lives, to get involved in movement, get involved in walking, to eat a better, better, healthier life. So I was impacting kids one-on-one. Now I'm wanting to impact the world.
Wow,
Yeah.
pretty cool. I think we should partner up.
We
There you
will
go.
partner up.
There you
Yeah,
go.
let's do
Russell Gymss.
Russell
Russell
Gymss.
Gymss.
it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I got to get on a plane to come out to Cali. That's what I got to
You
do.
you got it. You got to be here, man.
We'll
You
go.
got to be here. However you're going to get here. If you don't like flying, you got to get here.
I
But
will.
yes, we will, and we're going to talk. We'll talk off
Okay.
this live show.
There you go.
Yeah. But you just look around, man, and here in California, we got, great sunshine right now. It's a great place that, you want to be outside, and that's what I encourage people, is to get out and to move your bodies. You don't have to be in a gym, you don't have to be lifting dumbbells, but just get out and move your body. Get away from television, get away from the video games, get away from your device, but just put it away for an hour and just get outside and connect, in sunshine, get the vitamin D, connect with people, take a walk with somebody, talk. When we do our community strides, that's a beautiful thing about it, is that I'm meeting people all the time and just walking and connecting. And we need more of that.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree. And movement is medicine. That's what they say.
Oh, yeah.
How many people do you feel like you've impacted? You know what I mean? How many people do you
Man.
generally work with?
That's I don't know. I don't think I can put a number on it, because, we did our impact events. I'm on social media all the time. I think the greatest thing, though, and you already said it, Johnny, is when somebody comes up to you and says, thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for helping me, because, now I'm out connecting. I'm taking my dog and my family for a walk now. We're getting out and we're moving our bodies. Hey, I'm exploring nature, right? I'm spending more time with my kids outside doing activities. We've got the books and everything. And so speaking more and doing more, and Dan and I on our podcast, I don't know, but it's growing. That's all I can tell you. It's growing.
For sure. For sure.
So,
I want to get.
and we're going to collaborate. We're going to do some great stuff, Johnny Gymss.
That's
Yeah,
it.
sounds good to me.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to see, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you expand. I want to see you grow in your community and your influence, and it's awesome to have you on here, because talking the talk of what you do and living it, right? You talk it, you walk it, you live in it. And that's what we all need to be doing.
Right. I
Right?
think you should be an example if you're going to be a coach and a trainer, right? You want to be living that life. And honestly, serving people and serving my community is something I'm grateful for. And I truly, what's the word? I enjoy it, but it's also really fulfilling, right? To really
Yeah.
impact other people. So I want to be a servant for people. And I think that, a lot of people ask me, why are you doing it? What do you get out of it? And I know that it's like the same thing. It's like a long-term thing. I'm thinking big picture. And I
Yeah.
want to help as many people as possible. And I'm sure it's going to return to me, and I'm going to get, reap the rewards at some point down the road too. So I do have some things in mind that I want to do, some visions that I have, but ultimately right now I'm just happy kind of putting everything out there, and the return will come back to me, if that makes sense.
Do you want to share any of those things that you're looking at for the future?
It's funny because I consider myself like a go with the flow kind of person.
Yeah.
Initially, when I started the page, it was about me, and I was the hero of my own story. And now I'm like, I don't want to be the hero. I want other people to be the hero and the focus, right? So the one who kind of showcases them. So, and then over time, it started to develop into like working with businesses and entrepreneurs, and kind of like connecting with all different people in different communities. So like I kind of just taking it wherever it goes, whatever it evolves into, I'm happy with. And I don't really know exactly yet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great, man.
That's awesome, man. People do, go that route and, fly by the seat and very successful and doing great things, and because we're connected now, I'd love to, I'm definitely going to be watching you more. We're going to be collaborating, and I just want to see that growth happen inside of you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And same for you guys.
Man. Thank you, man.
It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you. And with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's the whole reason we kind of started this podcast, honestly, was to inspire, to motivate, teach, and, help others. Honestly, that's why we've had so many people who are experts in their fields and things like that to kind of preach their word and tell people how they feel and what they've gone through, their experiences and their knowledge base. And I mean, I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know, but I hope we've reached a lot of people so far, and I hope we've taught some lessons, and I hope people have changed a bit because of us. And that's been the whole goal of this.
Yeah. Well, and it's obviously not just us, because when we first started this, we were going every other week. So we had 2 guests per month. Now for the last 6 months, we have guests pretty much every week. And so it's people like you, Johnny, that are on here that are inspiring people, right? That are encouraging people that you can do it. You can turn that page, just like you experienced when you were reaching over for that big old candy dish and, in your bed or whatever, and you're just inhaling sugar and chocolate and anything else. But you can put that aside. You can feel better. You know what I mean? And I've never been a calorie counter. I just want to know, I just want to be the best feeling that I can possibly be.
Right. And you feel your best when you know that you're putting in the work and the time and sacrifice to better yourself.
Yes.
And what I would say, you just reminded me of something. I think being a trainer and a coach and doing this with the interviews and things like that, what I'm realizing is that a lot of people don't believe in themselves.
Sure.
And they haven't had someone there to say, you're worth it. You can do it, and encourage them, to push them to their goals and just enjoy and being that like their best selves. And that's it. It makes me sad, because why don't you believe in yourself?
Right.
I happened to have a mother who really always believed in me and encouraged me, and she gave me unconditional love. So I think that helped me to believe in myself.
Sure.
She believed in me first. A lot of people don't have that. So they're constantly doubting themselves. They don't think they could accomplish their goals, and they're just so paralyzed with fear of failure. So they don't try. Take the risk, don't put themselves out there. And I see it even when I'm going to interview someone. Oh, I don't know what to say, and I don't know what what are people going to think, and I'll look stupid. And I get it, right? And I kind of what I would say is that a lot of times it takes that encouragement to get people in front of the camera. And you know what? Everyone that does it afterwards, they're excited that they did. They're glad they did. It's like therapeutic to be able to talk and overcome that little bit of a fear of getting in front of the camera. And listen, people are going to judge us. People are going to, have their issues. Regardless, you are who you are. So the way I put myself out there on social media is that what you see is what you get. I'm just real. I'm raw. I don't even know what I'm going to say. People are like, what are you going to ask me? I'm like, I don't know. What are we going to talk about? So just whatever happens, whatever flows, I'm just going to be organic. And that's what
I love it.
So I think that I want to encourage people to believe in themselves and try things. And if they put themselves out there, they're going to find like-minded people that they would connect with that otherwise they'd never know, because they won't know they have those things in common. If that it was all making sense. So I would encourage that. Everyone give it a shot. Put yourself out there on social media.
Yeah. Sure. Love it.
100%. Sometimes
well said, man.
Uncomfortable.
Well said.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Comfort kills.
Right.
Yeah.
Johnny, so we have a quote/statement that we always close every single show out with for Dual Coast. And, we'd like to ask our guests the question / say it to them and see kind of what their feelings are. And that statement is, wellness is not about perfection. It's about progress.
Right.
What does that statement mean to you?
All right. Let me think about it for a second. So there's no point when you arrive at the perfect health, but to see that progress is encouraging. I think that if we are enjoying the journey, I think that will keep us motivated and inspired to continue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a better answer, but that's all that came to mind when you said it.
No.
That's awesome.
He didn't just say yes, so that's good.
That's right. Tell him that story. Tell
So-
him that story.
Real quick, we were in Pittsburgh and we were doing the Pittsburgh Kids Marathon. So we had a booth there, and Russ had moved today 365, his company. We had dual coats representing, and we were interviewing people, and we were going around, and we were mic'd up, and we asked this girl who was, I would say, teenage, maybe 20s, something along those lines. And we were like, we have this statement that we say, wellness is not about perfection, it's about progress. What does that mean to you? And she just goes, yes.
Yeah.
And we're like,
okay,
yes.
moving right along.
Right. That's how you go.
She was right.
She was right. Oh man, Johnny, where can people find you?
Yeah, where can people find you?
Johnny Gymss with 2 S's on Instagram.
There it is.
I'm a baby on TikTok and YouTube. I'm mainly on Instagram. I got the 1 S on Facebook. You could try that one. And I got to start with some other, platforms. But that's where I'm at for now. So Johnny Gymss.
That's awesome.
Johnny,
If you need help, you need encouragement, you want to be inspired to get out, you want to get in a gym, you want to get in your home gym, and you can't get yourself and disconnect from the couch to creating your own gym, and you need some advice, you need help, you need encouragement, seek out Johnny Gymss with 2 S's.
100%.
The guy is an encouragement. He's rock solid. He doesn't eat as much candy as he used to. He stays away from the Coney dogs, and he's a positive influence in people's lives today. Follow Johnny. Thank you, Johnny, for being on Dual Coast today, man. We're really inspired.
Awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
Johnny, thank you so much for being on. Guys, please check us out on all social media platforms, the Dual Coast Podcast. Check out Johnny at Johnny Gymss with 2 S's on Instagram, 1 S on Facebook, he said. Follow us at Dual Coast Podcast. Check us out on all streaming platforms. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening.
Sounds good. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny.